My company has literally one job. We help unfocused entrepreneurs scale their businesses by changing just what they work on. We've done it for 100 plus entrepreneurs, and I'm telling you, most of the times, the reason why you're not making as much money as you should is because you're not working on the right things. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can identify the correct things to work on and scale your business. The first thing that you need to understand is that there are two types of actions that you can take in your business. The first is an opportunity, right? And the second is a problem. Now, these two are very different from one another, and the mistake that entrepreneurs make is that they mix them up. An opportunity or a missed opportunity is basically something that you could do, right? So it's a could. A problem, on the other hand, is a threat to the livelihood of your business. Now, some examples of a missed opportunity can be you not having a cold outreach channel, even you not making organic content. As much as people say you should make organic content, if you're not doing it already and you could be doing it, that, ladies and gentlemen, is an opportunity. And a problem, on the other hand, for example, is your sales team's conversion rate is dropping. Your lead flow is getting fucked. Or your Meta Ads account got disabled. Anything like this that literally threatens the livelihood of your current business as it is a problem. Now, the danger of mixing these two up is that opportunities literally numerically are infinite. There is an infinite amount of missed opportunities in the world when it comes to you scaling your business. But when it comes to problems, these are actually finite in number. The principle that you want to work with is you should always attempt to solve problems before you chase opportunities. But the thing is, when it comes to the entrepreneur's to-do list, we're going to draw a to-do list here. There's a problem here, and then you have an opportunity, and then you have another opportunity, and then you have a problem, and so on and so forth. And the thing is, usually the opportunities are the shiny objects, right? They're the SOSs. So what the entrepreneur does is they chase all these opportunities, and at the end of their day, or at the end of their week, or their quarter, or their year, the opportunities are all crossed out. They've, started all these new things, which God knows if they'll actually complete. But the problems, right? The things that actually threaten the livelihood of their business are still in the same place. They're not actually following up with their leads, but they have a new YouTube channel that they started. If you fail to prioritize your problems over your opportunities, what you will eventually do is you will be overwhelmed. Because as we said before, the amount of opportunities that exist in the world are infinite. And the thing is, when you think about fundamentally what an entrepreneur is taught to do, an entrepreneur by nature is a contrarian. Right? We're taught to go against the grain, so on and so forth, trying new things, paving new paths, etc., etc., etc. And that as a principle works when you're starting out as an entrepreneur. Obviously, to break free from, the conventional paths, you need to start thinking like a contrarian. But if you keep chasing new things, if you keep starting new businesses, the hypothetical extreme of you chasing new opportunities is you starting a new business every day. And we know damn well that if you start a new business every day, none of them are going to scale, or you won't have enough focus to put into one business to give it the momentum and the strength to actually scale all the way up to where you want it to be. But the thing is this, right? Entrepreneurs get one business, right? A lot of entrepreneurs have different businesses. I was talking to an entrepreneur just the other day who had 4 businesses. And when he signed up for our program, we had him shut 3 of them down. It was a hard decision at the current moment. It's less in revenue. He's making less. But the thing is this, right? You have to understand, when you don't diversify your focus, when your focus is unified, especially when it's done in one business, what occurs? Scale, monumental scale that you've never imagined before. Because the one thing that you cannot commoditize, that you can't throw here and there as an entrepreneur, is focus. You need to say no to things, even if it's the businesses that you're currently running. Steve Jobs used to flex with his employees. He was talking to his COO once and he was like, what have you said no to? And then he used to one up his COO. He used to be like, no, I've said no to all these big things. So the caliber of an entrepreneur, even according to Warren Buffett, is how well they can say no. Warren Buffett says that the difference between successful people and really successful people is that the really successful people say no to almost everything. So my question to you is this: do you want to be successful or do you want to be really successful? If you want to be successful, click on one of the other videos. But if you want to be really successful, then make sure you're saying no to new opportunities. But the thing is this, what I wanted to get to was the fact that the diversification can be between businesses. So you have 3 different businesses. Obviously, when it comes to the principle of focus, these 2 were probably missed opportunities. You want to see like which one you have the most experience in, whatever the hell has the most amount of chance of you actually making it with the business is the one that you should actually keep. But here's the problem, right? Here's the concept I want to expand on, right? Here you go. So we had business 1 and we had business 2 and we had business 3, right? Now these can be in different time frames. These can be all at the same time. It doesn't really matter. What entrepreneurs sometimes do, and I've seen this time and time again, they shut down 2 of the businesses, right? And then this is probably where you might be at if you are currently an entrepreneur with 1 business. They have 1 big business, right? Here you go. Here's the B, right? And what they do is, in reality, they have all these little opportunities. I don't know why this looks like a brutalist building, but they have all these little opportunities in that business, and then they wonder, why am I not scaling? I thought I was focusing. But here, sir, was your first client acquisition method where you said, oh, I'm going to run meta ads. Right? Here, sir, is your second acquisition system where you said, I'm going to do organic. Here, sir, is your funnel number 1, the first funnel you started that actually made you money, but for some reason you switched to another funnel, etc., etc. And then you have all these opportunities, but because you have 1 business, it's okay. You're a focused entrepreneur, right? You're not delegating shit. You're not chasing all these opportunities. You're not subject to shiny object syndrome. That's why you shut down all the shit that works. All the funnels that work, all the ads that work, you shut it down. You change your offer even though you have no data to support it, but you have 1 business, so it's okay. But what you need to understand is principally, this is equal. I'm going to draw equal with a blue here. This right here is equal to this. If you have 1 business and you're chasing all these different opportunities without focusing on one of those opportunities for long enough, you're going to be screwed. And the thing is this, right? We're just talking about focusing on 1 opportunity. This is even more true when it comes to problems. If you are focusing on opportunities and neglecting your problems at the same time, the things that actually threaten the livelihood of your business, then ladies and gentlemen, I have news for you. You don't have a business. You have a headache and an expensive job. The thing is, problems aren't fun to solve, right? They don't really satisfy the entrepreneurial appetite. When you're an entrepreneur, you want to sit there, you want to be like, yeah, I did this new thing. Because that's why you entered entrepreneurship to begin with. But I think that's the real question you need to ask is, why did you start doing it to begin with? Was it because you had an itch for new things, for shiny objects that you needed to scratch? That's why you couldn't go down the conventional route? Or was it the fact that you actually wanted to make money and enter the top echelon of society? You wanted to prove to everybody around you that you had the skills, maybe even to yourself that you had the skills to master all the people that didn't believe in you initially. Like, did you do it to prove them wrong? Because when you don't fix problems in your business, you fail to prove them wrong. You're only pretending to have 1 business and being focused. In reality, you're just chasing all this shit. Hey, by the way, if you're resonating with the content, we started a 6-week focus challenge just for entrepreneurs. If you're trying to scale your business and you're struggling with all the things that are being mentioned in the video, we have a 6-week focus challenge for you. If you want to sign up for it, we'll leave a link somewhere down in the description. And as I mentioned before, this is only for entrepreneurs. So if you're not an entrepreneur, please don't join. But if you are an entrepreneur, let's see you inside. And you see, the thing that really differentiates the 2 types of entrepreneurs that actually succeed are actually the visionaries. So visionary entrepreneurs are the type of entrepreneur that look much farther ahead. They always see the bigger opportunity in the market. And then the second type is the executor, right? And what usually happens is if you're too much of one or the other, you end up failing. The visionary entrepreneur, to give you an example, is somebody who looks 12 months, maybe even 5 years, maybe even decades ahead, right? So this is the entrepreneur who recognizes the gap in the market. This is the entrepreneur who sees the bigger opportunity. The executor, on the other hand, is usually more of a COO role. They're always trying to, make sure that all the daily operations of the business are running. Usually, the thing is this, right? In the beginning, you need to be a visionary. You need to be a visionary as an entrepreneur. Otherwise, you won't be able to recognize a gap in the market. You won't be able to recognize all the bigger opportunities. But then you need to understand that once the vision has been set, you need to make sure that the vision does not change. The vision is static. A visionary entrepreneur is usually succumbed to what I like to call, excuse my language, mental masturbation. And the problem with mental masturbation is that it causes switch after switch after switch. I guarantee you this, you might seem clear in your business right now, but if 6 months ago, or even 3 months ago, or worse yet, even a week ago, if I asked you what the bigger goal for your business was, would that answer, like the bigger goal for the business, what's the goal? Would that answer a week ago be the same as it is today? If you're even slightly doubtful about that, there's a problem. You keep switching visions. The executor, on the other hand, focuses on present execution. And I'll tell you something, right? Personally, I am a visionary, right? I like to say I'm a visionary. Hopefully, I am a visionary. And I don't necessarily even connotate it to mean something negative. I believe being a visionary is a positive thing. But the reason why I started my company to help entrepreneurs prioritize, eliminate, and focus is because I struggled so much with this myself, right? I used to look out ahead so much. I used to recognize such good, like out of the 11 businesses that I've had, more than 11 actually, if you count more creatively, like I realized that all the ideas that I had were so revolutionary. But the thing is, it was the fact that I had so many of them that fucked me up. It messed me up. As a visionary, I would keep changing and I had such good ideas, but I just struggled to execute on them because I could never just, stick to one thing for long enough. And then for the longest time, when I shut down all my businesses except for one, which is the one we currently have, which literally helped solve this problem. I had this business and I was doing exactly what I explained to you before. I had all these opportunities within the business that I kept switching, but because I had one business, it was okay. So the reason why I speak so passionately about this, I just want to let you know, like, completely transparently, is because I struggle with this myself. And the thing is, like, our goal with my company, my goal is to create a world where the visionary and the executor are not dichotomous. They're not separated. They're one and the same. And that's the thing. You need to understand how to balance your visionary side and your execution side. And your visionary side needs to be static. Once it does its magic, once you see, okay, this is the funnel we're going to run, once you run a plan, unless the data shows you that you are wrong, you do not change your plan. You do not deviate from what you said you were going to do. And what you need a lot of times there is accountability. You need somebody that is perceiving you. I think actually Dan Henry, he made $30 million online, says this in such a good way. He said,
it's so much easier for me to come up with a marketing campaign for a client than it is for me. It's 10 times harder. When you're so close to something, you're too close to see where you're going wrong. You have to have somebody that stands back. Even if they're not as good as you, when they stand back and they look at the whole picture, they can see what's going on. They can see what's wrong.
See, Dan Henry says that he can never build a marketing campaign as well for himself as he can for a client. Why? Because he's too close, right? When you're too close to something, you do not see it properly, even if they're worse than you, to tell you where you're messing up. And the solution to that is accountability, right? When you have accountability, external accountability, it's not about people telling you how to do business. It's not about people coming in and auditing your funnel. It's not about people coming in and telling you, hey, you should do this instead of this, or you should start a personal brand instead of ads and blah, 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 which is what the whole info world purports now. The whole info world is telling you to do this instead of this. This is what the info world is. Instead, this isn't what you need. What you need is just somebody to say, hey, 6 to 12 months ago, you said that this was the plan. This is what you were going to do. Are you doing the same thing? Or are we on a new funnel, a new offer? Are we trying something new with the sales team? Are we selling through DMs now? Are we starting a personal brand? Are we going back to ads? Or are we now selling B2C? Like, this is so fucking simple. It's baffling to me. Somebody worse than you to tell you, listen, just stick to what the hell you're doing. That, I promise you, will save you more time than any mastermind, any coaching program, or anything in general. Now, when it comes to problems more specifically, right, there's another thing with problems, right? When you're trying to solve problems in your business, you have two types of problems. This is going to be revolutionary, guys. Wait. So you have small problems and you have big problems. Wow, I know, I blew your mind. The thing is, small problems, when you look at it, are much easier to solve than big problems. And so you are naturally, as an entrepreneur, you work smart. You're a smart dude. You ain't gonna work hard. So as an entrepreneur, you go for the small problems first instead of going for the big problems, because problems aren't fun to solve. But the thing is, you know damn well that you're supposed to be solving the bigger problem before you solve the smaller problem, because definitionally, it's more of an existential threat to your business than the small problem. So if you want to prioritize, first of all, keep your opportunities separate. So your opportunities should all go in one Slack channel or whatever it is. We usually have a certain place for our clients, and I have the same thing for myself, where opportunities just go in one place, right? One channel, one document, whatever the hell it is, all your opportunities are in one place. So first step is problems come before opportunities, right? So that's the first thing that you need to do. You need to understand that problems are more important than opportunities. And there's one easy explanation for this, and I'm going to sound repetitive, but this is extremely important, is that when you are solving a problem, right? That is definitionally the most immediate guaranteed return on your time that you can get. When you're talking about opportunities or chasing opportunities, you are talking about hypothetical future returns. When you're just speaking from a business standpoint, just from a logical standpoint, are you going to go for a guaranteed return or a hypothetical return? Exactly, you'd go for the guaranteed return, so solve problems first. And I'm going to beef with Jeff Bezos a little because Jeff Bezos in his book talks about the 10x return, the 10x swing. He's giving a baseball analogy and he says in business you can swing as many times as you want, doesn't matter if you miss, and once you hit the ball, it can go much farther than a home run because there's no limitation, blah, 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 blah. And Bezos isn't wrong, by the way. Bezos's principle essentially states that when you have a big win, it pays, right? Pays for all the small losses that you had to incur to get that big win. So according to Bezos, if you take a 10% chance to make a 100x return, that's worth taking. But there's a simple flaw in Jeff Bezos's analogy. And yes, I know I'm not richer than him. I'm just talking about the analogy, right? I'm sure he understands this. It's the very fact that you, as an entrepreneur, and we're going to write this out, okay? Entrepreneurs don't have unlimited swings. That's the fundamental problem. As an entrepreneur, you cannot do everything at once. Business in general is just you having a limited amount of resources, allocating those resources to either solve problems or chase opportunities. The thing is, limited resources is the key word. You only have a certain amount of resources to begin with. So you need to take the swings that matter first before you take the swings that have a hypothetical return. And the easiest way to do this is just to make your decision based on data. So if your decision isn't based on data, then don't make the decision. This is actually something I took from Alex Hormozi. He has what I like to call a bullshit detection SOP. Okay, I'm about to give you guys detection SOP. Okay, it's a standard operating procedure that you can use to detect bullshit. Okay, and it's all centered around data. What's the first question you ask? What does that mean, right? So what does that mean? If somebody comes to you and says, you know what, we should use 2 camera angles for our short form videos. First you say, what do you mean, right? Clarify. You got to be respectful at first. So this individual is going to say, we should have 1 camera here and 1 camera here, right? Then why should we do it, right? He says, it boosts conversions, right? It boosts conversions or blah, 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 blah. This is the reason. Third thing, how do you know? Okay, you're telling me all this shit. How do you know? If they're like, well, everybody knows this in the industry. Well, obviously, if you have 2 cameras, how do you know? Show me the data. If you don't have the data, then fuck off. And then the last question, I love this, is so what? So if somebody says, we should make, more content, right? We should make more general content, right? Why? Because it gets us more views. How does he know? Well, when we make general content, we actually get more views. He proves it with the data. He pulls up YouTube analytics or whatever. But then who the fuck cares? Are we optimizing for views or are we optimizing for qualified people booking calls? Sometimes this question is the most powerful one there is. You're just like, so what? Who the fuck cares? And if you want to translate this process into a more actionable way to take action, so this is if you're analyzing somebody's claim, right? The bullshit detection SOP. If you want to turn this into a process for solving problems, this is how you do it. First things first, what's the problem? Second thing, what's the hypothesis? Third thing, let's do the thing and track, okay? And fourth, what the fuck happened? So just to give you a quick example, problem, our sales team isn't converting as high, right? Hypothesis, if we do more role playing, our sales team will convert higher. Then you actually do the thing. This is the hardest part, believe it or not. People don't actually conduct their tests. Once they have the hypothesis, once they have the problem defined, they don't actually do the test. And if they do it, they don't even track it. And then the last question you got to ask is what the hell actually happened? Because if nothing happened, if nothing changed, then who the hell cares? Guys, if you like the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We have other videos here. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to actually stop chasing opportunities, start solving problems in your business, you want one-on-one accountability, we started a 6-week challenge. All you have to do is see if you qualify. We have a link in the description down below. If you're not an entrepreneur, you just don't want to click the link yet, it's okay. You'll get there soon. Enjoy the other videos, and we'll see you around.